like and replanted it.
Let me just show you.
It was pretty bad, Andre. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, like I feel like a plant should be able to survive a fall, like right?
You feel like a plant should be able to survive a fall? This is it. Shattered the remnants of my dreams.
What? You can't like cut the top of that off and just like put the stem in a new pot and some soil and have it spring back up?
I probably could, but it's literally like a stump. That stump was so broken and just fell over, and I was like, oh my God. And this weekend I was driving all over the so I just didn't have the time. We'll see.
Okay.
But I got
this second floor,
He's in the penthouse. He's in the penthouse.
Yes. You know, if you add all the floors up in the building I am in, it's actually all the land that Andre has. If you add all those apartments up, boom, 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 boom. It's a lot of land, a lot of acreage, all his properties.
I think Gray's got more acreage than me.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to be like King Turner.
Captain Planet.
That's a good lesson, you know. Like we can't get married to these plants. You know, in the end, I always say don't get attached to things. And these plants are things. They're gonna die. Like stuff's gonna die. That's just the way it is.
They will.
No, see, when I see a sick plant, I'm like, ooh, okay, hey, come here, I can revive you.
Same. And I get way too attached. So I think if you get somewhere in the middle between where me and Andre are, you'll be okay. I'm getting way too attached. And I'm like, I can definitely bring this back to life unless it's a fig. If it's anybody's ficus, I don't want it. But if it's anything else out there, I'm going to save you. We got it.
Well, that might come with age. Maybe that comes with age.
Maybe. You know, when we do the reunion tour in 20 years, we'll see what I feel.
20 years. I don't know if I'll be around in 20 years. But I saw Superman. Have you guys seen Superman yet?
Yes. Actually, my kids, I'm home with my children, and so I always like to keep up with the big right before school. About start for them again. So I took them, the whole family. We went out to go see Superman, and dude, we loved it. I loved it. Thought it was great.
What do you think, Derek?
You know, I'm a little bit of a Marvel fan if I have to choose between DC and Marvel. But while the movie did start off a little just boring to me, I was like, this is dry. I wouldn't sleep in this. It ended up being a very good watch. I loved how they did stuff, how they set things up. And, it was just good to me overall. It's, I don't know if I can compare it to other Superman movies because I ain't seen them all, but it was pretty good to me. What you think, Andre? What you feel?
I wanted to start off with something I like.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert, if you guys have not seen Superman, I'm going to tell you something about this movie. Okay, we're spoiling, so spoiler alert, hashtag, go ahead. Like, in theory, if Superman is in a fight with another super being, they are moving so fast that it would be hard to really, with the human eye, sort of even keep up with some of the fight.
Yeah, like maybe like this is like Goku with Superman, right? Just coming there. We've seen like an animated version of Goku versus Superman going in, right? Okay.
Right. So even if it's not that level, it's still going to be faster than a human fight, right?
Yes.
It's considerably faster than a human fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How is someone calling out numbers for someone else to type into a machine to relay to a guy on what move to do next faster than people punching? Like, that guy's head would be mashed by the time he said the first word and the second person tried to send the message.
Especially when you think about us as live streamers, we know, like, there's a delay. Even though it seems seamless in our conversation, there's a delay. So when you, like, 813, 1529, 37 hut, and I was like, okay, like, I like the premise, but I'm like, I just feel like at a certain point, Superman's super hearing should be able to hear it and recognize it based off of who he is in the comic book.
Also, at this point in time, he's a young Superman. How many fights has he had that have been on film with other super beings that all of his moves?
Well, I mean, Lex Luthor got eyes everywhere. like the ultimate.
I don't care but how many supervillain fights has he had that you know exactly the moves he does every single time?
Well, when you got now that part, I was like, okay, that Lex is the ultimate hater, where he would be like, you know what, I'm gonna watch everything you do. And I'm going to see everything you do, and I'm going to pick. Because there's people that'll do that. He don't realize there's people who will watch us.
I'm still not going to know that you're freaking Clark with glasses on. I'm still not going to know.
The hypnotizing. They mentioned that in the movies now. They've got the hypnotizing. It hypnotizes you so you don't see his face, and he just acts different somehow. But I think secretly, Lex do know.
Yeah, I mean, sports teams do that though, right? They watch games of other teams.
Because the other teams have games. Like, how many super villains has Superman fought on camera at this point in time in his career?
However many of them it is, Lex is watching all of them angry. He is mad. He is sitting there with a beer, mad.
I feel like this would have been his first one. I thought this would have been his first one.
Because they already knew Superman, and they showed, like in the movie, he'd been doing stuff, so they already knew who he was.
Right,
but
he's
Lex
saving planes that are falling out of the sky. He's not fighting other supervillains at this point. Like, who else would be a supervillain for him to fight at this point?
Well, and also in the movie, they show Lex is sending people for him to fight, because that whole first person, Lex sent him. So Lex is like, I'm going to go ahead and get these people. If they kill you, they kill you. If they don't, they don't. But I'm gonna go ahead and record it. We're gonna rewatch this. This the movie. Lex is just he's an angry hater. The thing I couldn't get with is, like, y'all set up this world and y'all did a good job. They did a good job of world building. Because I loved the Lantern. I cannot Guy Gardner, not Guy. Guy Gardner. They played him very well. Okay, you can have some wine while you go ahead and watch this. They did Guy very well, right? Okay, and while y'all are here, tell us what you're drinking and where you at in the world. So they did a good job, but I'm also like, well, where is the rest of these people? Because they showed Peacemaker, they showed other people. Where's the rest of these people?
They're supposed to be in the sequel. The sequel is supposed to be Peacemaker's in the sequel.
Well, I mean, I like it because, I'm a fan of James Gunn. Movie, I follow his career all the way back to Slither that he did a long time ago. It felt good. And plus, crypto, I mean, I'm a crypto, so I was like, crypto right at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't understand the concept of crypto. I feel like why would there be a crypto? It doesn't make any sense to me.
They had human beings, so they would have dogs up there apparently. Humanoid beings somehow on Krypton. So they got dogs and cats and turtles and everything else. We should be glad no roaches came out.
They come here to listen to that. They came here to hear some gardening stuff. So let's give the people what they came for. But first, I want to talk about one of our sponsors. So if you are a Kryptonian, you don't have to worry about this. But if you're not a Kryptonian, you need this. This is Sonia's bug spray. And this is going to protect mosquitoes from being able to penetrate that soft human skin that you were born with. Outside, it's all natural. It's made with a lot of lemongrass. That's the only thing that I know for sure is in here, because it smells like lemongrass. When I put this stuff on, I smell like I just put like lotion or cologne or, why am I not up on the screen? There we go. I feel like I put lotion on. This stuff does not feel like bug spray, and it works amazing. It's all natural. Look, works on ticks, works on fleas, works on no-see-ums, works on everything. All right?
I'm glad you said fleas, okay? Because I don't know if y'all realize this, but I got a family of skunks living under my deck. And I know I'm living dangerously, but I like skunks. They're adorable. They make me think of Bambi. And so, no harm, no foul. They not bothering me. I'm not bothering them. But with that family of skunks, I have had an influx of fleas around my garden. So Sonia's bug spray has definitely been helping me out, because they jump on my socks, but guess what? They don't jump on me.
All right.
Well, look at that.
It's also an afterbite. It's also an afterbite as well.
Now, can I ask y'all a question? Because y'all have used this and I haven't, but I just got a question. Have y'all ever had to be watched and basically stalked by a supervillain apt to destroy your life while using that? Yeah, it didn't work. So see, there we go. And Andre's still here, so he didn't have crypto. So it obviously keeps the Kryptonians away. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
Definitely.
Maybe it's got some kryptonite in there. We don't know.
Never been attacked by anything with his arm. But guys, I want to talk today because fall is coming around the corner for a lot of the people that are in most of the country. For the people in Florida, it does not feel like fall is coming around the corner. But I know we want to talk today about preparations for fall and fall plantings. Like how are you guys preparing for fall?
Well, I'm doing a lot of planting indoors, and I just got this question earlier this week, and somebody said, wait, it's still hot out there in Texas, Graham. Yeah, it's hot. It was last week, it was 100 degrees. It rained this morning for like 2-3 hours, and then it was still hot and humid afterwards. I mean, like by 9 o'clock, it's about a good 95 degrees just waiting on you out here. But they was like, why are you still growing indoors and under grow lights? Why are you doing that? And so to answer that question, I actually still prefer to grow indoors because being out here in Texas, I have an extended grow season. So I still have tomatoes producing. I still have, and I need to fix this light because every time we do this podcast, my lights just go off like I didn't pay the bill. But trust me, I paid the bill. It's a smart light. The timer is wrong. I'm still growing cucumbers. I'm still doing a lot of my spring vegetables. I'm still able to grow out here. So it's a way of me being able to compartmentalize space because I know I still want to have these fall vegetables, which I will show you one of the fall vegetables I'm growing. And this is actually one of my sponsors. This is from Botanical Interest. Maybe put it on both screens there. This is burgundy broccoli.
Burgundy broccoli.
I've grown broccoli before, but I've never grown a burgundy broccoli. And then get this, it's a heat-tolerant broccoli, so it's going to be less likely to bolt on me. And that's going to be a big thing out here in Texas because, I mean, we'll still see 90-degree weather up until like November, mid-December sometimes. I know, same for you too, right, Andre?
Yeah, because August broccoli sounds ridiculous to me, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So everything I picked for my cool weather crops, I made sure to get varieties that were heat tolerant. So I still start them indoors because I still have all of my spring stuff out there still producing it, and I don't want to cut them short. This is a great way of utilizing my space that I have here in my plant room or my greenhouse and still utilizing what's outside. What about you guys? Do you prefer direct sowing? What do you do?
I like to direct sow because I'm lazy. But when I do things like a cabbage or most of the brassicas are probably the only thing that I will start in trays. Everything else I want to direct sow. And just because I just don't have success if I try to direct sow brassicas. It just, for some reason, it's just not going to work for me here. But in trays, it works fine. Although one of the things that I think is great for direct sowing that I like to use is fairly heat tolerant is the Chinese lettuce that I grow. The Chinese lettuce, that stuff grows super easy and it's fairly heat tolerant as well. But for me, this is a sort of in-between time where my summer stuff is still hanging around, but it's way too hot for me to start things outside. And even the things I start, if I start in the I'll start in the greenhouse. I don't start a lot inside, but I've did plant a few beds with a cover crop, and I just use like cowpeas as a cover crop in some beds just to get some more nitrogen building in the beds and have something growing in there.
Where do you get those seeds from?
Oh, I just picked up a bunch from Lowe's yesterday, actually. You know, and I hate when I pick up seeds and it says non-GMO. That's and organic. Those are two of the things I hate on seed packs. I'm like, you are insulting my intelligence right now. Hey, you are. I feel like I need to punish you for insulting my intelligence, and I want to try to find the pack that doesn't have any of that stuff on it because organic is going to be how you grow the seeds, not where the seeds came from. And none of those seeds are GMO in Home Depot. You're not going to get GMO seeds in Home Depot. You got to pay a lot of money. You got to have a corporation or have a business or something to be able to buy GMO seeds. You're not getting them at Home Depot.
Yeah, if you buy GMO seeds like purposely, it would literally be purposely. And there's only one company that you can actually, as a home grower, get GMO seeds, and they're $20 for 20. So you would know that
Yeah.
you bought GMO seeds. You would know it. For my winter sowing and such, I will sometimes start things indoors because, again, I have great hopes of going out there and planting plants. But I tell you, when it gets below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't want to be outside. I will wear a pair of thermals at 65 degrees Fahrenheit. I just cannot stand the cold being on my body. So I will start brassicas. I'll direct it where I can. Years ago, I just had some garlic hanging around in here. Got it from the Percy Peter. And I threw it outside, growing until like a bunch of snapped and took it out. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm not meant to be outside. Stay inside. But outside of that, I typically will just start up what I have outdoors. And start things.
What you got, Greg?
You know, it's funny because when you're talking about anything less than 7 degrees, dude, it's so funny because my wife is 150% the same exact way. We have this show that we love watching called Alone, where people go out into the wilderness. This is something Andre would like to do. Like, Andre would totally do this. You go out and you survive and see who can last the longest, then you win 500,000. But every episode is always in like the Arctic Circle or Canada. I'm like, look, babe, you cannot go on this show. No, she's like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm sitting here on my couch under a blanket watching these people freeze. I'm not freezing or starving. That is terrible.
You know, I would be torn because I would want the heat, but I don't want mosquitoes.
See, I want the heat, but then I'm also like, there's big animals that also want the heat if I'm in the wilderness. So I don't want to be out there with the big animals. But then
I don't care about big animals.
I know you don't, but a polar bear, you know, I'm like, they don't care about the cold, so they would just be walking around. So I'm just going to stay in my house. That's what I'm going to do.
Now, speaking of in-between, this is a great in-between crop that I love. And honestly, I started in the spring and I grow it all year long. This is red leaf lettuce. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to show Instagram. Here is red leaf lettuce.
Woo!
And I'm going to show YouTube here as well. These are seeds that I started. And I'm not joking when I say this. I literally started 2 days ago.
Holy jeez. So you got a lot of thinning out to do there.
Oh, yeah. I got a bunch of thinning that I need to do. And then that's another important thing, guys. When you're growing your seeds where you're doing them in trays and such, most people say, I like to say 2 to 3 seeds, but I got a little heavy-handed with these seeds because they're very small, and so I sprinkle a little bit more. And so when these start to get a little bit bigger, I will go through and start seeing which one's the tallest, which one's the strongest, and I will cut them back and let the strongest survive.
Yeah, I tell you, this is how I start. This is how I plant carrots in a bed, okay? I started planting carrots in a bed like, one here. All right, 2 fell down, 3. By the end of it, it's just carrots. It's so hard to focus and stay concentrated over and over again and discipline. I can't do it. I can start off thinking I'm going to say
respecting the space. When you're starting to see germination, I don't try to respect anybody's space, but then once they grow, then I clip them back. Right. That's an easier way to respect that space.
And seeds are cheap, right? So, throw a couple extra seeds. I feel like the seeds are cheaper than my time. So, yeah. Now, someone asked about the pink pineapple. The pink pineapple is growing. I've got 2 little stalks coming out of the pink pineapple. It's my 5th try trying to grow the heads because they cut the tops off, so there's nothing left. But let me show you the pineapple that I harvested today. It's tiny. But I also harvested this one. Look at these 2 pineapples.
There you go. I was going to say, you showed the YouTube people. Look at that. Now, y'all see them. And that came from the same plant, right?
Basically grew under the same conditions. And just to show you that sometimes your pineapples come out small, sometimes they come out big. There's some factors that have some play in that. But a lot of people think you can't grow big pineapples from a homegrown pineapple top. You can grow them. This is bigger than your typical store-bought pineapple. You put a store-bought next to this is bigger than that. And obviously the other one is smaller. But we get a lot of pineapple. We get more like this than we do like this. But And they don't need full sun as well. A lot of people think they have to be like an open, empty field. They do just fine in partial shade. Both of those were in partial shade. I don't feed them anything, but if you want to give them some nitrogen, give them some fish emulsion or something, that's fine. And also remove the pups. When it starts making a lot of pups, they suck a lot of energy out. We let that pineapple focus all its energy on the fruit and less on the pups, and you're also going to have bigger pineapples as well.
Because with that being said, a pineapple, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it a sub-canopy tree? So like it's
yes.
Canopy, it grows under a canopy, like bananas.
It's an understory tree, or understory plant, I would say. But it does have the capacity to live in an open field as well. But it can grow and I remember when I first started growing pineapples, I thought I couldn't grow them because I don't have a lot of full sun here. Mm-hmm. And then I went to my friend's house and he had a pineapple with a pineapple on it sitting under a tree in total shade. And I was like, what? And it was something weird. I feel like just knowing that, like all my pineapples all of a sudden knew that too. And they started growing pineapples. I was like, it was like, if I didn't believe that they could grow pineapples, they wouldn't. But as soon as I believed it, bam, they started growing pineapples.
Look, they was out there spraying and we're just like, hey, look,
look at what we can do. So I got a question in them pups. Can you tell the people what those pups are?
Okay, so your pineapple plant is only going to produce one pineapple on the stalk. But underneath it, there'll be little shoots coming out that look like tops. And they're really narrow. They come out from all around, and each pineapple plant can produce anywhere from 0 to 10 pups, usually around 4 pups usually with each one. And you can just break those off, and you can stick those directly in the ground, and they can fruit within a year, or you can leave them in a cluster. I usually leave them in a cluster and just let the cluster just keep multiplying. Just be a big cluster of pineapples. Also, once it has fruited one time, you can actually take that one that did fruit and you can cut the top off, cut the leaves off, and you can actually put that corm or that root segment back in the ground and it can produce a new plant again.
Look at that. You were going to say something, Gray?
No, I was just saying, yeah, that's awesome. The best thing about it is yes, pineapples take so long to grow, but you can regenerate so many pineapples that you can perpetually grow them indefinitely.
Pineapple math. I call it pineapple math. People don't understand pineapple math, but you plant one pineapple and literally in 5 years, you could have 25 pineapples.
My goodness. You got a pineapple, you got a pen, pineapple pen. So the people are asking, can you replant? So you've already said it, but you can then take those pulps. I can take those pups from around the plant and then move them around and plant them out somewhere else?
Exactly.
Wow. And then you was talking about this Chinese lettuce because I was curious about that too. Somebody asked about it. They are wanting to know, you gave seeds to somebody that wasn't me. They said that you gave them some seeds last year and they're wondering when they should start showing them. And they was talking about the broadcasting and spreading them out. Can you talk about how you grow your
Okay. When I should start them. It depends on where you live. So for me, I would probably start some Chinese lettuce. I'm thinking in Florida, probably in September, October, because it grows really fast. Like you're gonna have Chinese lettuce to harvest in like a month. And what I do is I sort of just do it in rows, and it grows in bunches. But it's gonna be a ton of it there, and you just clip what you need and let it just keep regrowing until season's over. But if I plant that in, let me say October, maybe. It should last pretty much through most of the winter. And then I might plant another patch in the spring. But the only times in the summer, it's probably going to bolt. It does bolt at some point in time in the summer. But then you get so many seeds from it. Like the seed pods come out like little pea pods. And you get so many seeds. Like once you plant it one time, you'll have seeds for the rest of your life. And I got this. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, for those that don't know, what bolting is that's when the plant's going to the end of its life cycle and starts producing those seeds. That's what it's talking about.
So it'll flower up, put a shoot out. It'll get tall and put a shoot out and flower. That's great because I didn't know what bolting was when I started gardening. So I know a lot of people probably don't know what that is either. So thank you. But I got these seeds from an old Asian man, and he was running a community garden that I kind of took over after him, and he was growing it. And he gave me the seeds, and I asked him, what is this? And he said, over the years, it's been cross-pollinated with so many other things that he's grown. It's its own unique thing, and he just calls it Chinese lettuce. And it's basically like, I feel like I'm the only one in the world who has these seeds, and the people that I've given them to, or the people that have bought them on the website, have them as well. But it's Chinese lettuce. It's a unique thing. It grows really fast, and it's delicious. It's great in salads. I love it.
And now, speaking of Chinese lettuce, one more thing just to further anyone who's planning on, because I think we had somebody in the comments who is growing it. How if we're doing the broadcast planting and we're planting in rows, how far apart would you say those rows? About 2 feet? Because it's a bush, right?
It doesn't push that much, but I think if you have like 1.5 feet, 2 feet, yeah, that's plenty of space. That's definitely, like, I only want the space that I can walk through between them. Yeah.
Good tip.
Ooh. So I went through all the questions already.
Indoor plants. I just got my first apartment. Do you have any tips for indoor plants? Chocolate, what's up?
Chocolate, what's up? So when you are doing your indoor plant babies, granted, we are talking about doing the fall and outdoors, but you need to take care of your plants, house plants, typically in a different way during the off season. Now, I don't do it because I do what I want. But when you are growing plants, you want to get you a plant that can take your light, right? Whatever light, when you're first starting off, you get your compass on your phone, go stand at your windows, you look. If you got like a western or southern facing window, go ahead and stick with that. For those of you who are like the plant containers or the labels will say like bright light, indirect light, bright, indirect. What does that mean? Let me tell you what I stole from a person that I went to a conference. You are reading. All of us have read on our phones, on comic books back in the day. You are reading. You typically want bright light. That is what your plant bright light. Good. I can see this clearly. I don't need any light. That is bright. Light indirect. I can still read, but I'm focused a little bit. If I'm younger, I can still do it. But my crazy eyes don't be doing a lot of much. Indirect light is pretty much to almost the lowest point that you can still read and see in that one. So consider that one part two. Get a plant that speaks to you. If you know you've never grown a plant before, go in there, get a couple of cheapens, and go and grow for what you can. Right? And again, for the fall, you're not going to need to fertilize or anything of that nature. Typically, again, I do what I want. But the rest of you, just go ahead and water as they need it over the year. I hope that helps you.
Right, and also don't be afraid of something dying. Like, that's part of it. Plants are going to die. In the nursery where you're buying the plants from, they're killing thousands of plants every year, right? So don't feel bad if the one you took home died, right?
Really, I'm going to show you. I was really proud of repotting. So this is a fern. This beautiful fern. She was so lively when I put her in this pot. She was so happy, standing up and dancing free, and dropped all of her leaves, meaning she's mad because she's not in the superhuman place I had her, right? She is upset with me. This is a rabbit foot fern. This rabbit foot fern is very disappointed. Now there's a little nub of a leaf coming up, very little nub, but it's disappointed, right? I changed the environment, and I knew ferns are a little more temperamental, a little more dramatic. If that plant doesn't yeah. Will I ever buy a plant like that again? Eventually I will, after I stop being bitter. But don't fall into the way of, oh my God, I killed this plant, I'll never grow a plant again. I'm going to hope I've literally killed me.
It's a numbers game. The longer you've been growing, whether you're growing fruit trees, annual vegetables, or house plants, it's all about killing as many plants as you can burn.
Right? The difference between a good gardener and a great gardener has killed way more plants. And And remember, you are taking that plant from one environment that it's been fairly stable in to a whole completely different environment. It's going to be a different temperature. It's going to be a different amount of light. It's going to be watered on a different schedule. Like there's so many things that are going to be different for that plant. It's going to have an adjustment period, and sometimes it can't overcome that.
And something else to consider is that sometimes some of the places you may have gotten these plants from, they're not taking the best care of it. Let's just say some of our big box stores completely forget to water, and then some just soak that thing like a super soaker. Like, why are we drowning this plant?
Right, and these might have just come off the truck, and they're looking good still, but they're on their way to dying, and you just happen to intercept it and be the one to receive it dying. But
I try to tell people it takes about a week for you to notice that something like whatever you did a week ago for that plant to show you either great growth or I'm on the way to dying. And it could be, again, in that week, it was going through chaos, and you got it, and now it's like, I'm going to die on you, human.
So, guys, can I share a gardening hack with y'all? I know we always talk about gardening hacks.
I love it.
I have a good one for you.
I love good ones.
All right, so, I'm not a millionaire like Derek over there who's got just all this excess cash. So I'm a very frugal gardener, But I'm putting it into existence, brother.
Yeah, I'm here.
So with that being said, I'm always looking for deals, and I got a deal for you, okay? And I share this with everybody I possibly can. This is the time, right now, August, this is the time to go to all of your big box stores. I'm going to put their name out there. I'm gonna put this out there. Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Go to all of these stores and start looking through their garden stuff. Because this is the time of year when they start moving all of that stuff out. Look, guys, I did a whole video on this on YouTube. I know at the beginning of the garden season, we just come out the tail end of winter, and we've seen all this death and all this grayness, and we want to see some greenery. Guess what? All those stores know that too. So they're going to charge you top dollar for all their gardening stuff. Well, like this time of year, August, they're getting ready for Christmas. Every retail store right now is getting ready for Christmas. Believe it or not, everybody's trying to stock the shelves for Christmas. So they're trying to get all that gardening stuff out of there. And you can get some crazy deals on seeds, on raised beds. And I'm going to show you one that I literally just bought today. Soaker hose. This is a $12 soaker hose, 50 foot, from Dollar General.
What?
And guess what? It was BOGO. They said, if you buy this one, we will give you a whole second one for free.
I love a BOGO. Give me both of them. Look,
$6?
$6 because they're literally going to get rid of it.
Well, you got two though.
Yeah, it was $6 each. So you get all of this stuff. I would go to the Wall Monkeys and I would get all types of bowls. Because the Wall Monkey, the Lowe's, the Home Depot. I try not to go to Home Depot anymore very recently. But you go and you get a bunch of bowls.
The Lowe's,
you get a bunch of bulbs for sometimes $1 at a per package, that worth $5 or $6 for $1. And you keep going to the next season. And then you grow them. This is how like a lot of days and stuff I have outside. I'm literally getting them out. Walmart has them on sale right now. Like there's a lot of stores that will literally be doing this. And seeds. A lot of people don't realize this. A lot of these big box stores will throw away all their seeds at the end of the year.
Yep.
And they try to tell me they don't, but I know they do. So try to go, and if you can, for those of you who are with community gardens, trying to keep up libraries, your librarians will have seeds, right? Somewhere in the library, they generally have a seed section. Most people don't know this. Get them seeds if you can, loans, the Home Depot, any of these people. Okay, the Target is giving them. I don't want to they go ahead and save them seeds and give them to your school librarians, please.
Listen, I think that is such a great hack. Hey, are you okay with me making a video about that?
Please.
I'm gonna make a video about that. I'm gonna tag you in. I'm gonna actually in the video I will mention that I got this from my good friend Gray. He's so smart, way smarter than I am, and he's frugal.
Yeah. But you know what, Derek, you just made me think about something, dude. So while sharing those seeds with your local library, your seed library is a great idea. You know what? School's starting. You go get some seeds and you go to an elementary school and you donate them to a teacher. Because you know what? Our teachers work hard. They work harder than hard working. And they didn't need a break. So you go to an elementary school and just donate a bag of seeds to a teacher, you will make her day. Like, you know what? She can just plan her lesson for the rest of the year. We growing some seeds. Donate them to a teacher.
And you can actually be starting community gardens in these schools as well. Like I have a community garden in 2 different schools right now. And, cheap seeds will be a win-win for them. A win. Speaking of a win,
we love the win.
Insane. If you want to win and have your tools last way longer, stay sharp, and never have to be replaced, use this on your tools. It's all natural. It's organic. And it lubricates, disinfects, and increases the lifespan of all your gardening tools. I use these on my shears. They're great for when you're doing grafting because you need your stuff to be clean. I used to use hydrogen peroxide, but it's tough carrying hydrogen peroxide, WD-40, all kinds of stuff on it. I feel like you're kind of reversing it when you put the WD-40 on it, then the hydrogen peroxide. But this is all natural, and it does both things. Retain. Great stuff. It's also on Amazon as well. I believe it's on Walmart.com too.
Walmart.com.
Yeah, it's on Amazon now too. It's on Amazon now too.
And I'm surprised they not, unless they commented and I can't see it. But I'm surprised they're not up here. Get you something to change today, because a lot of you, as you're getting your house as you may be putting outdoors for the fall time, right? You're cutting your rose bushes back, you're cutting a lot of your fruiting trees back potentially, right? You're cutting just some of your vegetation back, depending on if you can grow them year round. You need something that can help to limit the spread of disease. So that is where Retain will be the most dope thing.
Now,
you know what? You just made me think about something, Andre. Many moons ago, I used to be an engineer. I'm like a jack of all trades, master of none, except for garden. But see what I did there? But you made me think of something. When I used to be an engineer, a lot of my mechanics and technicians that used to work for me, we used to have to lubricate a lot of moving parts in one of the facilities. I'm not going to say their name because I cannot stand them, so I'm not giving them any press. But anyway, and then we used to a lot of technicians would use like a WD-40. But a WD-40 is not a lubricant. It's actually a solvent. So Retain, going back to Retain, this is actually going to be better than a WD-40 because it's not a solvent and it's made from oregano oil. So you're going to get more lubrication. You're going to get actual better resistance and friction from Retain than a WD-40.
That is good to know. That is good to know. All right. We have a question in the comments there. What do you do about fungus gnats? We've talked about this before, but hey, what's your guys' solution? I know what I use.
He going to run to get it. He running away from us.
I moved where I said it. I decided to give y'all a new view. So, what do you use, Andre?
I use hydrogen peroxide spray. I'll just mix the hydrogen peroxide to 3%, mix it in water, maybe halfway, and I spray it. It seems to do the job for me.
Beautiful. So I can't see the new comments coming up. So if any of you say neem oil, while you can use that to a certain extent, you want something, I always say, you want something that could really treat the whole situation of your problem. And this is mosquito bit. Mosquito bits. You can also get the mosquito dunk. You want the stuff that actually says in the ingredient somewhere that it has BT. It says it right here on the front. Bacillus thuringiensis. It says it right there on the front. Bacillus thuringiensis. Why do I want that? Well, they make some that is just like a chemical insecticide, which is dope, but some of your plants may be more sensitive to it.
You got like animals or something that be more sensitive to it.
Meanwhile, I take a heaping tablespoon. I soak it per gallon of water, a heaping tablespoon. I soak it overnight. Right. I usually make sure I heat my water up so that way the chlorine in the water is out. And then overnight, couple of days. So this is water on my plants. And BT basically interrupts the lifestyle of those plants. You can also get traps, because a lot of people will be like, I put the traps and I miss the traps, and the traps work. The traps work for the adults, but you still got them having hot fun in the summertime making babies. I just had to go ahead and disrupt everything. I got traps and I got DBT.
You know, that's why I don't recommend the traps. Because the traps are just treating the symptom.
Yes.
It's not treating the problem. And see, and that's why I like your approach. Your approach is more of an integrated approach because you're actually treating the problem, the fungus, where the gnats are coming from in the first place. But I'm going to take it a step further, too. I say we watch how we control our watering. Now, granted, there are some plants, I will say, like an alocasia. You know, alocasia, she want all that water. You know, your Monstera deliciosus, they just want that moisture. So it's harder to monitor your watering, but I'd say that's really your first step is do without doing, as Lao Tzu would say. So stop doing so much. Don't feed them too much water.
Right, but at the same time, like, you do want to treat the symptoms too. Like, you don't want flies buzzing around your head all day. Like, you gotta,
So, like a real quick story is I've had it where I had a bunch of gnats in my house, and a lot of the gnats become Tea Party people are not just fungus gnats. There's like a bunch of different types of gnats that may not be really effing up with your plants. They may be from your trash, your sinks, right? Your garbage disposals. You had some bananas that were out a little too long, right? Andre, he decided to go and buy a watermelon for National Watermelon Day that just passed. He left that watermelon on the counter a little too long. It got a little cold.
I left the banana water out too long.
He left the banana water out. See, we're triggering each other. We left the banana water out way too long. And then boom, you got all these gnats. So typically what I'll tell people is, even addition to that, check your house. And I don't want to make it seem like anybody's dirty. But we all go through things. It's not like we're talking bad about people. We all go through life. So it could be, you just need to bleach your sink and then you're not helping.
All right. Now, Barbara's pastry box sounds delicious. I have a massive amount of ants in my passion fruit bed. How can I get rid of them? So that's something she's gonna eat. So how we get rid of those ants in there?
I would say first avenue approach I would take is if you got all these ants, I would go with a mixture of what's my mixture? Oh, Derek, I'm forgetting, man. I'm getting old. Let's see.
You're talking about borax and soap?
Yeah.
Borax and sugar?
Yeah. So what you do is essentially you would take like a cap, like a milk carton cap or a bottle cap. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your borax in there, maybe a little bit of dish soap. No, you don't actually need the dish soap. No, just go with borax and then put a little bit of water in there. So essentially you're making like a salve.
Okay.
Oh, and sugar. That's it. Now I'm remembering the whole recipe. Borax, sugar, and water. Because that sugar is going to attract your it's definitely going to attract your ants, and they're going to take that borax and they're going to take it back to their mound, and that will kill the whole population. Unless we're talking about army ants, because army ants are the only ones they will have multiple queens and multiple mounds, so it won't eradicate the whole entire colony.
Also, some other options that I've heard. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Andre.
I was going to say uncooked instant grits is supposed to be another option as well. Some people put boiling water into the hole, and after a few times, the ants, I guess, figure that this is not a place they want to be. And diatomaceous earth is another option as well. Food grade diatomaceous earth. Just wear a mask if you're going to use it. You don't want to breathe that stuff in.
You don't. You can also do pyrethrin, which is a chemical. It comes from chrysanthemum. Pyrthe. And I had to Google it to make sure it was safe around food because I know I've used it before. But there are some organic, food safe, just even non-organic, food safe pesticides you can use. But if they're just like regular, if they're not fire ants, just say ants. Like if they're not fire ants and they're not attacking you, just leave the ants be. That's what I always say.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because one thing that I always like to lead with is whether or not something is safe around kids and pets. And so the solution I'm talking about with the borax, and you don't want that around your pets. So that's really good advice, Derek. Yeah, because I mean the pets, because of the sugar, they can ingest it, it can harm them as well. Now, granted, it's not going to be on the scale of how they hurt the ants, but still, it can harm your pets. And I'm a pet guy,
And you mentioned a great thing there, Jared, too. A lot of times things are in your garden, but they're not causing harm. And some people get like a mushroom in their garden and they freak out. No, that means you have healthy soil. It's not hurting that. If your whole garden's full of mushrooms, fine, maybe you have a problem. But, you know, having certain things like ants, the only time that I really care about ants is if it's somewhere where I'm going to be going too often and it's fire ants, that's a problem. But the time when I really, really don't want ants is when they're farming something. If they're farming aphids or they're farming scale, that's when they're automatic. They have to go. They have to go because once you get rid of them, you get rid of the scale and the aphid problem as well. That takes care of itself.
Hold on, I gotta say this, Andre, Garrett. So on YouTube, there's an herb for that says yes, and I mix in a frozen waffle along with that slurry in a mix and answer them. They give frozen waffles to the man like, hey, go on, if it works.
We love to see it. Let go of my ego.
Oh, hold on. Someone said the products you are endorsing are mirror imagery of yours. Is there a workaround? Pre-print, reverse image, or labels to hold up the content? Well, if it's reverse image, just know that we've mentioned Sonia's Bug Spray, and you get it at soniasbugspray.com. We've mentioned Retain Spray. And what is the website for Retain? It's retainspray.com. And our last sponsor, but not least, is Andre the Farmer's Sweet and Spicy Pepper Sauce. For those of you watching, that's me on the bottle there. That's me. And there's a hot and there's a not so hot version. Let me go this way. Yeah, there's a hot and a not so hot version. It's made with 8 different fruits and vegetables. It's all natural. All the products that we've endorsed tonight are all natural, organic products. It's delicious. I guarantee you're going to love it. No one has tried this and not loved it. So I guarantee you're going to put on everything. All right? Get on Amazon and AndreTheFarmer.com. Yeah.
So Andre, yeah. Somebody is calling your name because they talking about squirrels. They say, tell me about your squirrels.
All right. Hold on. What you say? What lemongrass? Lemongrass repels ants, not just by growing, right? Like these are things that if you mash them up and whatever, they have insect repellent properties, but none of these things repel insects just from growing.
Like
the process for lemongrass.
Even if you were like growing, like you would have to grow fields and fields for there to be enough of like a potential for it to do something. And I know we always want to go to something natural because we feel chemicals, but whatever chemical is in lemongrass, I swear to you, there's a name that you would recognize that they would use to put in a bud spray. So sometimes you just got to use the other stuff.
Right. Now,
Sonia even said, not really. She knows. She makes Sonia's bug spray. She knows lemongrass.
Yeah, if you had a whole farm of lemongrass, you would have ants living in the lemongrass. Like they would be living. Talking about pests, squirrels. Damn squirrels! Don't even get me started on squirrels. Squirrels are tough, you know. And I've over the years I've battled squirrels in many different ways, and some things work temporarily, but squirrels learn. They're pretty smart. And even eliminating a new squirrel takes its place. So my recommendation is grow more than the squirrels can eat.
A new squirrel takes its place like it's ancient 007. A new one just comes up.
It is. Because they're territorial. So if you eliminate one squirrel by one means or another, then a new squirrel will move into that vacant spot.
We don't have enough time, but I'll tell y'all, we should talk about pests that we battled next week because I'll tell you.
Let's do a show on pests next week.
Yeah.
All right. Next show is the pest show. The pest show next week. Ants on my soursop tree. Are they farming pests or are they pollinating? It depends. Do you have pests on that tree? Because my soursop tree in Mexico has mealybugs and mold and fungus and all kinds of stuff. But it's only when the ants can get up the tree. If the ants can't get up the tree, it magically clears up. The ants are protecting the insects. So as long as you don't have any insects, then you're fine. But if you have ants and you have another pest problem, those things are problem related.
Hold on. Because I just want to say something about squirrels. Because I know y'all gonna say that I'm Mr. Nice Guy, and maybe I am.
You are.
I love squirrels. They're beautiful. I love them. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice. Not to have to unalive the squirrels. I would say go with mechanical areas. So chicken wire is cheap. So a lot of the things bonsai grow. Now, granted, I know you do a lot of fruit trees, so it may be harder with your fruit trees. But if you're talking about like the problem I have with the squirrels is they mess with my strawberries. So I create a lot of mechanical barriers out of chicken wire to keep them out, but still allow the pollinators to come in. So I'm
Look
sorry,
at
I just had to
that.
bid on the squirrels.
Dr. Doolittle over there is like, let's protect the squirrels. And meanwhile, I'm like, if I could get some bullets, I would put them in every squirrel I see. But you know, we got our differences, I guess.
So that's why I have cages around my pineapples. These were both caged pineapples, so there was no chance. Let me show you a couple of the cool things I harvested today. I brought a couple of things up here. So everybody knows what this is, star fruit. There's tons of these, like basically unlimited amounts.
Show us on Instagram. You had it for YouTube, but
there you go.
And passion fruit.
Ooh.
These are absolutely delicious. And guava, which I've realized I don't like as much as I thought I would.
Really?
Very seedy, very seedy. I love the flavor and the smell. This thing will smell up a whole room and it will smell amazing, but it's just so full of seeds. And there's also a high worm risk. There's a saying about guavas, if you don't want them to have worms, eat them in the dark. And these are jamuns or Javin plums. And they're all right. They're kind of all right. So one of the things I advise people is before you plant big trees, make sure you like the fruit. But
yeah. So I have a question for you about your passion fruit. Passion fruit. Now, I know you have it vining all over the place, right? But I have a smaller passion fruit that I have just in a container. Have you ever hand pollinated your passion fruit?
Yes.
Because you know you have your male flowers and your female. Okay, you have?
Yeah. Well, the flowers have both sexes in them. So you can take the stamen and you can actually break one off and you can rub it into the stigma.
Well, I guess I should have specified because I specifically have maypops. What kind of passion fruit do you have?
Oh, maypops. Okay. Maypops are kind of like a wild version of a passion fruit. And usually they do not need any pollinating at all. They tend to make fruit like pretty rapidly. I remember I wanted maypops because I thought they were just like this wild passion fruit. Like they're edible. They're not like the best passion fruit, but they're edible. But they will become invasive like a weed once they're in the ground.
See, and that's why I kept mine in containers because I know they are very aggressive growers.
They are very aggressive. Yeah. But they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. They are passion fruit, so they're still pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have any other questions, guys? Let's see. Do we have any questions on here? I'm scrolling down. Iguanas. We will talk about iguanas on the show as well. Even though I don't have iguanas here, I don't think any of us have iguanas, but we will still talk about it. Do you guys have any experience with dragon fruit? This has been the most difficult year with cactus rust. I use copper fungicide and swear the dragon fruit laughs at me. I don't think the dragon fruit's laughing because the dragon fruit's dying, so it's probably not laughing at you. Maybe laughing with you, maybe, but it's definitely not laughing at you.
Like that.
I'm dying. But what I do is, copper fungicide is like a first option. A lot of times I will try to prune out the areas that are infected because it will spread. So a lot of times you can cut dragon fruit and reroot it or regrow it. I've even cut a bottom segment off of dragon fruit because they throw out a lot of roots. So what I did with one that was on a truck, I cut the bottom segment because the bottom segment had that copper rot or whatever it is. And then I just took a tall pot, and I put it underneath it and put it all the way up to where the new cut was to let it root. So it was all the way growing all over the place, but now it was rooting again in the pot.
That's good. Because what I was going to say is, if you're using a copper fungus, it's still spreading on you. Are you getting an even distribution of your fungicide? Because a lot of times we only go on the top because that's what we see. But are you getting all the way around that dragon fruit as well? So that's good. Yeah, you can definitely propagate it and try to cut off the worst parts. But I said make sure you get an even distribution.
Right.
So if you're looking at leaves, now we're talking about other plants. You get top leaf and bottom and stem. You want a whole picture.
Right. Now I almost wonder if it would make any sense to try to inject a copper fungicide into a no?
No, because I mean those spores are going to live on the surface. They're on the
Okay.
outside.
Because I feel like when I do see like the fungus, like it's rotting through the plant, like so it's on the cactus. Like, I felt very Trumpian saying injecting it.
Well, no, it's like it makes sense, but the way it starts is the more spores start on the surface, they fruit and start to basically eat. And once they get to a certain point where they can fruit and make more spores to complete that life cycle. But it starts with a spore landing and then working its way in. So an injection, I don't think that would be helpful.
Okay.
And then,
We're not injecting bleach into them.
Yeah, exactly. What you say?
We're not going to inject bleach.
No, not this time.
don't inject bleach.
Not going to work.
No, we're going to have to put flashlights in our body, heat and UV rays, you see, and then a bunch of ivermectin. Bunch of them.
Someone said immerse the plant. I guess probably with the copper fungus.
Oh, yeah.
Plant. Just drench it. Because there could be plants that are infected further up the plant that really aren't showing signs of infection yet. So
Yeah, because I mean, okay, you know what? I love that Enterprise. I love it because we love their name, Enterprise, and make us think of the Ender game. But it takes me back to childhood, back when you would have to go get your dog because your dog then got a fungus. Your dog has got mange. I'm about to say the mange because my wife had to correct me. I was like, no, the mange. It's not the mange. It's mange.
It actually is the mange.
is it the mange?
It is the mange, and I will agree with you. Okay, as a North Carolinian, I will say the mange too. The diabetes, the mange, all of it.
The mange. But that's what we used to do back in the day, right? When your dog got the mange, you would take them to go get dipped. It's the same thing. It's a fungus. So immersing the plant definitely would be effective. Great advice, Enterprise.
All right. Any last question, guys? What do you guys got planned for the week? Anything cool going on?
Oh yeah, I got all those fall vegetables that I'm gonna start working on a couple of things. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. What about you guys?
Oh God, I'm gonna bring this pot back together. It's already shattered. Get some super glue and glue that back together and try to save the seeds from this Jensen weed, this datura, this angel's trumpet. What you gonna be doing, Andre? What you gonna be doing?
It seemed like it would be way more work to put that pot together than to try to save the plant.
I hear you, but I'm just gonna glue it, and we're gonna see what happens. It's piecing together broken things is what I do, and this is why I don't have much luck dating.
No, but it sounds like it's fun because it sounds like it'd be like a puzzle. So that's actually, I kind of like that too. If we break something around here, I don't mind piecing it back together and gluing it back together. I think that's kind of cool. Yes, we are going fishing next weekend. We do have the TikTok, the On the Farmer fishing trip next weekend. Out of Ponce Inlet. We've got, I think, 2 or 3 more spots left on the trip. It's $150 per person. It's a 9-hour trip. All your bait, your tackle, your gear is all included. You guys are all welcome. Just email me at andrethefarmer@yahoo.com if you want to get on that trip. Like I said, there's about 2 or 3 spots left. There's going to be 45 people on the trip. Should be a really good time. The next day, we're doing a farm tour at my house here. And we're doing a brunch as well. So
that's so cool because meeting up in person, and Sonia's gonna be, and she's my sister. She don't know yet, but we related. On the internet all the time, and that's so cool to actually get to see people in person. So if you get the opportunity, definitely go on this fishing trip, guys.
All right, guys, we are out of time. I'm going to actually go see Fantastic Four right now.
Oh, nice. Let us know how you like it.
All right, I will. We'll talk about it next time. All right, guys. See ya. Thanks a lot for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, follow. Plenty more to come. You can see the replays here and on YouTube as well. Any parting words, guys?
Follow me.
Follow me. All right, follow Urban Gardening with Gray and follow the Chocolate Botanist as well. All right, see you guys next week.